Hey everybody, it's Brett. Want to help me fold some clothes? Yeah, I was just standing here folding some clothes, feeling lonely, and I thought, you know, I need my YouTube viewers to hang out with me. And I know it's like a memorial. It's not memorial. What is it? Is it Memorial Day weekend? I don't even know these holidays. I really don't celebrate holidays very much. Not even Christmas, Easter, 4th of July. It's like one day just goes right into another, over and over again. You guys have these kinds of days like I do regularly? So it's a good sign that I can use my cloth bags at the health food store again. And I figured out how to use them at the regular grocery store as well. All I'm going to do is take a few plastic bags that I've saved, put the mushrooms or the produce, whatever, in the plastic bags, take it to the checkout stand, weigh it with the plastic bag, then take it out of the plastic bag and put it into the cloth bag. So I don't have a washer and dryer, so I have to go to the laundromat again. But I'm hoping to get into, in a few months, I'm hoping to get into a nice little place in the country, crossing my fingers. Is anybody with me today? Can you guys see my laundry here? So, yeah, nice little house that's probably going to come open for me in August. Crossing my fingers, y'all. Crossing my fingers. Also, I got me a new wood shop out in the country in the same spot as where the little house is. And yeah, it's in a great big barn. So I moved some of my woodworking stuff out there to the barn and made my first product, finished my first product out there. And that was a foot friend. I finished this foot friend for a new student, an Indian woman that's coming here from Atlanta. Well, she lives in Atlanta, and she's coming here to take a massage class with me tomorrow. And let's see what else is new. So also, whenever somebody buys a product from me in a big enough box that I can fit one of these laminated reflexology charts in, I give them to them for free. Like if you buy a Millet Hall pillow, you'll find that you get one of these cool laminated reflexology charts with your pillow. That one's an ear chart. So it doesn't cost me too much, mostly just time to make them. And hi, Zignolpa. And hi, Oasis Leo. Can't hardly pronounce those names. So yeah, you can see that I'm not like a major YouTube star. I'm not like some kind of a celebrity. I'm just your everyday kind of a person, folding my clothes. Somebody had mentioned that their dishwasher wasn't working the other day on a Facebook post. And I said, my dishwashers have been working perfectly for a long time. These dishwashers have been working ever since I was like 5 years old and started washing dishes. It's so amazing. People are so reliant upon machines to do everything for them. What would some people do if they didn't have a dryer or a dishwasher? I think that we're going to find out pretty soon, because eventually the electricity is going to go out. I hope the heat doesn't go out. See, if the electricity goes out in this apartment, I'm screwed, seriously, because everything in this place runs off electricity. Now check out these nice organic cotton socks that I bought. 3 pairs for $21, $22. They're really comfy, all organic, undyed. Nope, not bleached, super durable. So you can actually buy these little cloth bags that I make. I think you can get 5 for $30 or something ridiculously low on my website. Also, check it out. Right now, I have a whole bunch. Of facial brushes. Got a whole box of these Bernard Jensen Complexion Brushes. And I've got a whole bunch of these nice wooden butt massage balls. I think I got about a dozen of those. They're solid birch, very hard and heavy wood. And one of those will last you forever as long as you don't lose it. And massage your butt. It'll massage your butt every day that you want to use it. Chuck ham, Timpi Su, Tipu Scene. Hey, Chunk Ham. What's going on, man? Where do you live, Chunk Ham? You know, there was a kid in that movie, Goonies. Do you guys remember that? Named Chunk. I got a viewer named Chunk Ham. That's like a ham that's been chunked. Isn't that cool? So, yeah. I'm not driving a Lamborghini. I'm not even driving a new car. I'm just driving my old 93 Corolla wagon. And I got it actually running pretty darn good now. I had one little problem and I took it to a mechanic. And of course, I had to kind of help in figuring out what the problem was with my past experience from the car. And so I did that, and we figured it out pretty much. It's not perfect, but I think the car is running better than it has since it was probably for probably 20 years now, with all of the things that I've done to it. So yeah, I'm kind of happy that things are sort of getting back to normal, if you know what I mean. People think that things are getting back to normal, but I really don't think they are. I think that's all kind of a bunch of bull. But whatever, you know. I'll tell you my opinion on the you know what. I think it's going to come back with a rage. That's what I think. Now, I don't know, of course. I'm just speculating. But I think that the you know what is going to hit again. And how hard it hits, I do not know. Who it's going to hit, I don't know. But I don't think that it's over with. I don't think that the thing is over with. And I'm not talking about people's love of baseball. Although my Padres are in first place right now. Now look at this. Isn't that a beautiful fabric? That's my pillowcase. I washed my pillowcase today. And that's called the tarragon green animal because it's got little ducks and sheep and that's it. Ducks. Oh, and rabbits. It's got rabbits too. And I just ordered 5 more yards of this. I've got some left. And as soon as I get done with this, I'm going to sew pillows for the rest of the night. Doesn't that sound exciting? I'll tell you some things that I think in regards to, like, a lot of you are, including me in the past, have been worried about like finding Mr. or Mrs. Right, as they say. And myself, well, what if I did have someone in my life right now? Would it really be better? Would it be better or not? It's a good question. And it all depends on that person and how good of a person that would be for me and how good I would be for them. And there's really no sense in worrying about it because all that does is take away from your joy. You know what I mean? So if you come into alignment with somebody else and you get together, cool. If that doesn't happen, then you have to just accept it. That's what I'm having to do right now. You have to do that every day. You have to just accept that you're by yourself and just with God. That's just how it is. And it's not necessarily a bad thing because, like, if I want to fart right now, I can just do it. And I don't have to worry about anybody else screaming at me, "Brat, did you fart?" I don't have to worry about, doing something, relying on someone else's schedule. I make my own schedule. Everything here is going the way I want it to go, not the way somebody else wants it to go. And even if I do get together with somebody, I still want my own place. I want my own place where everything goes the way I want it to go. And really, the only way that you can have everything your way is like to have a community like what I'm trying to create. That way, everyone can have their own little house because houses are inexpensive. In a world where houses are as ridiculously expensive as this world is, even this apartment, with all of its fanciness and everything, like a refrigerator, etc., etc. And really, a refrigerator is fancy because we're not meant to have all of these gadgets keeping our food cold all the time. That's only a recent invention over the last 100 years. But not even that. Refrigerators happened like in the 40s, something like that, 30s, 40s. They haven't been around that long. The natural way to keep your food cool is called a root cellar. And that's what I'm going to have. I'm hoping someday when I get this natural eco village of health-minded people going and coming along. And you know, when there's not enough electricity to keep all the fridges going all the time, or to run dryers in Arizona when it's 110 degrees outside, which is just like so ridiculous. Then people will be like, oh, okay, I guess we got to go back to the natural way. We can't have air conditioners anymore. You know how much electricity air conditioners take up? People in the South, most of them are so fat and out of shape and toxic that if they didn't have air conditioners for one summer, they would be like dead. If you live in a hot and humid place like that, you've got to cool yourself down with cool water several times a day in order to keep your body from getting overheated. That's just how it is. Now up here, you don't have to do that because, you know, I'm up in the mountains. Up here, the problem is the cold winters. And it doesn't get that cold compared to like Utah where I lived before. But back in a minute. But still, I mean, it would be cold. It would be cold in here if the electricity went out, because this apartment is heated by baseboard electric units. But see, I don't want to pay $200 a month for electricity. It's ridiculous. If you've got a property with trees and wood and you build yourself a mass rocket heater, you know how efficient those things are? Have you guys ever seen mass rocket heaters? Look it up on YouTube. They're awesome and they burn really slow and retain a lot more of the heat. They're so much more efficient. And all you're burning is wood. And the exhaust from a mass rocket heater is a lot cleaner because it's so much more efficient, because the smoke has run through little chambers, these chambers, and it creates a lot more heat, and it creates a lot more like the smoke particles are collected on the insides of the chambers a lot better and not coming out the exhaust. It's so much better, and that's what I want. And you can create a mass rocket heater for just a couple of $100 worth of brick and cement and pipe, and you need a big barrel too. You need a big barrel. But they're really, really cool, and that's the plan. If anybody wants to donate to my tiny house fund, so far I've gotten $1,000 and I've saved that, but I think that will be in most of the description boxes in my videos. Or you can just go to my website and click on the donations page and send me some cash, y'all. So yeah, I'm really excited to teach, hang on a sec, I'll tell you. Raji, So Raji, an Indian woman, is coming to learn massage tomorrow. I don't think that, it doesn't sound like she's too grooving to do a video with me. I asked her if she'd like to do a video, if she would do a video with me, but she's kind of shy. People are like that. They don't want to be in front of the camera. Da, 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 da. It's hard for me to understand because I have Mercury in Leo, and I want to be in front of the camera. I want to speak my mind. I want to say my opinions. I want to sing and dance and all of these things. Okay, so I got to show you this. Check this out. Do you know what that is? That is cherry kombucha, my friends. Does that look nice or what? I put a bunch of fresh cherries in there and blended it. Oops. Be really good. Also, check it out. I made blueberry kombucha. Okay, so check that. That's blueberry kombucha. And it's really good. In fact, I think I'll just drink the rest of that. Now, I wonder if anybody's ever made banana kombucha. Have you ever heard of that? I don't think that you can make kombucha with banana. Can you do that? Hey, Sonny. Hey, Frank. Frank. That's a manly name. Frank. If you're a Frank, there's no way that you could be gay. There's no such thing as a Frank that's gay. Frank is a manly, manly name. It's like Billy Bob. Okay, so check this out. Does that look at that. Look at the color of that. Blueberry kombucha. I think it's got some blackberry in it too. Oh, that's good. Mm. Sending a shout out to my friend Mel in northern Idaho, or is it Washington? It's just north of Spokane, almost to the Canadian border. Hey Mel, how you doing out there, man? Mr. T, Steve is with me. Nice. It's so nice not be screamed at for nothing. My ex was a bipolar with 4 children who I got stuck trying to save. It almost cost me my life. You know, Zingbiwigi, I do not have distilled water. I have spring water. This is spring water. I've got about 25 of these jugs, and I've got one great big 6-gallon container. And when I get low, I drive out to the spring and fill them up. And I do have a video on that if you want to watch it. Once I drove out there and it was so cold, and there were like ice balls from the water splashing. The water comes out of the spring and it hits and it makes a splash. And it creates all these, under certain circumstances, it creates all these ice balls, hundreds of them all over the place. It was freaking amazing. And whenever it's the winter time, and I feel that that might be a possibility out there, the temperature has to be just right for it to happen. And if that happens again, I'm going to have my camera, but I didn't have my camera with me. So, and when you get into the spring, you step down into it, you have to destroy the balls to a degree. So it was such a drag to have to do that. Okay. So anyways, I'm noticing that a lot less people are wearing masks now. And so obviously, it's funny, you got to wonder to yourself, are they not wearing a mask because they refuse? Or are they not wearing a mask because they've gotten the jab? Or some other reason. You don't know. There could be many reasons why they're not wearing their mask anymore. Who cares? I'm just glad that they're not. Like I said, though, I don't think that it's over. I don't think that this problem is over. Okay, so I am so glad to get to start using my cloth bags again for produce and for dry goods. And yes, very exciting. I know it doesn't sound like it should be something that's really exciting, but like, remember when the thing, the disease first hit like over a year ago? And we were all just like in shock. Because think about it, something like this hasn't happened since like the teens, 19 teens. Well, something like, what was it, 1910 or something? Something like this has not happened to this degree. It may not, it's probably not ever happened to this degree in human history. But like, personally, it was only a big deal for me personally because it was such a big deal for everybody else. I couldn't get fabric. Look at this. See all my fabrics? See all these fabrics? I got to be able to get those to be able to make pillows for y'all. Oh, and incidentally, if you go to my site for the next 2 days and if you want to buy a pillow, the pillow sale is for 2 more days. It's good till the end of the day on the 31st, the end of this month. And I made a video about 3 videos ago and put all the coupon codes in there. You have to have the coupon code. But the coupon code is in the description box from a video about 3 videos ago. So you can go back and get that if you want to buy one of these pillows. But basically, if I can't get these fabrics because Organic Cotton Plus is closed, because in Connecticut they're freaking out because of the you-know-what, I'm freaking screwed. So it's not a problem for me. It's not a problem for people that are health conscious and eating really healthy fruits and vegetables, etc., etc. But for those people that are really toxic and full of mucoid plaque and dairy mucus, I mean, it's a major problem. So that's why when something like this comes along, it affects everybody. But it's another reason why I want to live in a community of people that are very self-reliant. Okay, that's an important word right there. Becoming self-reliant, independent, and able to produce your own food, very important. All the basic necessities. If you can produce your own food, your own heat, your own transportation, your own shelter. If you're able to produce all of these things on your own, then and you don't have to rely on Pacific Gas and Electric and your landlord and blah blah blah, the internet, even the internet. Think about that. What if you lose the internet? A lot of us are really dependent upon Facebook, myself included. I'm here in this small town, pretty much by myself, no friends, nobody that I can talk to, nobody to have sex with. I am seriously screwed without my Facebook friends. If I lose the internet, I'm in deep trouble. Seriously. And so if I can get myself into a communal situation with friends that live around me, I mean, how much better would that be? I was watching a Star Trek episode last night, or where they were talking, it's called The Menagerie. The episode I was watching was a two-part Star Trek episode, 2 hours long, called The Menagerie, where this culture had so many wars that the surface of the planet was uninhabitable. And so they had to go underground to survive. And because they went underground to survive, they developed these great big brains. Like everything was like, that's why they think that aliens have big heads and small bodies, because they become so much more mental. And Kaipacha was talking about this the other day, that you don't want to become someone that's just a lot more mental and not so physical, because then you'll get unhealthy. But the person, the girl that had crash landed, and she was the only survivor on this planet, was talking about, she learned about their culture, and she learned that you know, they had gone underground, and they needed humans. They had learned these abilities to be able to project images in people's minds, to create illusions. And that's what they were doing to Kirk and Spock and all these people. And so in any case, you don't want to get to be a person that's just indoors all the time, because that's what will happen to you. I mean, does it look like my brain's getting bigger? Does it look like my head? I mean, all of our heads have gotten at least 1/4 of an inch bigger in the last 13 months, right? From just being indoors and thinking about all of this shit all the time. Just from the swelling alone, just from the inflammation of our brains alone, our heads have gotten bigger, like aliens, from being indoors all the time. But we don't want that. We need to get outside, and we need to have relationships beyond Facebook. It really sucks. Like for me, how can I possibly do this? How can I possibly do that? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm getting in my car soon, and I'm going to drive into Tennessee and look at land. I'm going to create the energy. I've told you this before. When you want to get something, if you want to achieve something, especially something that looks like it's far-fetched, something that's difficult, like there's no way that you can ever possibly get that. Well, what you do is you make one step. You take one step in the direction that you want to go. Can you dig it? Can you groove to this? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pack some food. I'll put my fridge in my car. My car is running good enough now to drive a couple 100 miles into Tennessee, into the county that I think will be good for a community. And I'm going to just go and dabble. I think I'm going to do it tomorrow. No, Monday. Tomorrow I'm teaching a class to Raji. Raji! Yes, she's Indian. So, have you guys got anything to say? Let's look. Aha, my name is actually Francisco, but that's hilarious. Yeah, Francisco, that's not manly. And that, if anything, that's gay. Like San Francisco. What is your opinion about distilled water? Banana peel. No, you can't put banana peel in kombucha. You can't eat banana peel. What the hell? Yikes, congrats on getting out. 21 people. 21 people are watching. Only 4 of you have given me a thumbs up. What is up with that? I'm like working my ass off to tell you guys all of the shit that's going on in my head, and only 4 of you, 4 have given me a thumbs up. That's just like horrible. I want to see that number there, 5. I want to see that number going up, up, up. And if you got 8, we're up to 8, 9. If you guys don't have a Gmail account so that you can give me a thumbs up, I want you to just get off right now, go over to Gmail, create an account, then come back and give me a thumbs up. This is like ridiculous. Only 9 people so far. That's only 4 more since that's only 5 more since I bitched. 11, I upvoted. Okay, Sonny. Hey, Cuban Groove from Miami. I just got here, so let me see you work it. That deserves a donation. How come nobody has donated to me today yet? Like I should get at least $1. Could I get like at least $1, you guys? Okay, let's see. So if you've joined me late, I just finished folding my laundry. And I was just talking about how I get to use my cloth bags again because they wouldn't, the FDA or whoever it was, the germ people wouldn't allow you to use your cloth bags at the grocery store or the health food store. So let's see. Vicky in Reno, Nevada is getting a soother tool. Congrats, Vicky. And I folded up a reflexology chart for you. Finishing the last of my blueberry kombucha. Now, I'm just about to start sewing some medium millet hull pillows. I've got 11 medium millet hull pillows to sew. That'll keep me busy for a while. Zipper. Okay. Let's talk shop. Can you groove? You want to talk shop with me? Talk about health. I'll tell you about my latest healing crisis. As soon as I adjust this tripod. Okay. And we need some light. The Lord said, "Let there be light." Am I coming in loud and clear? Cuban Groove gave me a thumbs up and some happy claps. Doof Wagon says, "Hey, Brett." Hey, Doof. I was just thinking of myself the other day. where would I be without my viewer doof wagon? How would my life even be, how would I even be alive without doof wagon? I don't know. Okay, so about 4 days, 5 days before the full moon, I started getting clues that were saying to me, slow down, you know the full moon is coming, and you need to just lay low and chill. And those clues just kept coming until 2 days before the full moon, my kitchen sink clogged up. Think about the energy of a sink, of a plumbing clogging up, okay? That's like slowing down, stopping. 2 days before the full moon, I started to feel tension in my face and inflammation in my head and neck. Very atypical, very typical. Generally, not every full moon, but a lot of full moons, especially if it's a super full moon and an eclipse as well. These kinds of things oftentimes happen to me. I'm a Cancer. The Cancer is ruled by the moon, and vice versa. And I'm just affected. Now, not all of you are affected by the moon as much as I am. Thank God. This world would be just like haywire. But I saw the signs, emails, things, people talking to me, various things. You have to learn to recognize the signs. Some of you are hip to this. How many of you in comments in the chat box right there, how many of you recognize the signs when they come into your life? It's a very good question, because if you don't, you need to start thinking. That's why I'm talking about this right now. Because if you're able to recognize the signs, then you can make decisions that are better so that you don't up. And so that's what I did. I felt it, I heard it, I saw it coming on, all of the stuff, and I knew better than to go out and do anything offensive. Like, you can either play your life defensive or you can play your life offensive. For the last, ever since you know what started, it's been a time to play defense, not offense, obviously. Now, I've seen a few people, like, for instance, I know this guy, Gabriel Traveler, on YouTube. He just kept on traveling, and it was really gutsy. It was pretty cool, but he's gotten to a place now where it's almost too difficult for him, I think, because of the travel restrictions. But in any case, so yesterday, today, I've eased off a lot. I was really not too bad on the full moon day, which was Tuesday. But I was in bed most of the day. I was just sleeping for like 2 days. I was just like sleeping, resting, out of it. Yeah. And now for a couple of days, I've been doing a lot better. I should be good to go tomorrow completely. But if you notice that I'm not making videos around the full moon time, you know why. If you don't hear from me for like a week, you know why. I've thought about like teaching a class on this, because there are a whole lot of things to know about recognizing signs in your life. If somebody just calls you and you think to yourself, that's kind of weird, you should consider it definitely a sign. You have to think about the different aspects of that phone call. Who was it? What did they want to talk about? You know, what was the basic demeanor of it? What could happen as a result of it? Then you put that on the back burner. You put that on the back burner and you remember it. Okay, that was a sign. I believe that was a sign. You're going through your day, and all of a sudden there's a knock on the door. Who is it? You're not expecting anyone. It's the garbage man, and the garbage man found a letter out by your mailbox that was addressed to you, or out by your car that was addressed to you, and you open the letter and it had something to do with something. You put that on the back burner and you think and you remember that that's possibly a clue. Are you starting to understand what I'm talking about now? Because the things that happen to you in your life every day, they're not necessarily just coincidences. These things mean things. And they're, because everything goes in cycles, okay? So it's another thing to remember when you're starting to figure out, you're trying to figure out how to recognize clues to what's going on in your life. Things go in cycles. So if one nasty, angry, bitchy, redheaded woman comes into your life, it's very possible that the next day or sometime thereafter soon, another one might. Okay? Things go in cycles. The moon goes in cycles. Hello, Linda. So these are just some of the things, some of the things that can happen to you where you need to consider those things to be clues in your life. And none of this video was planned. I was just doing some laundry. I was folding some laundry and lonely, needed to talk to somebody. And so I turned on the video. This is not like a Sunday Night Live where I've written down all of these things that I want to talk about, blah, 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 blah. But I'll try and think of a few things. For instance, the 9/11 Commission, blah, blah, not 9/11, the May 6th Commission to determine the guilt of Donald Trump, which is basically what it is. Yes, they should have had that. Why didn't they have that? Because the Republicans don't want to talk about Donald Trump anymore. The more they talk about that particular instance, that last scenario, that last happenstance in regards to Trump, the more of a negative light it shadows all over him. That was his last and final hurrah. See, there are so many people that still support that doofus brain. And they support him because of his policies. And his policies are geared towards protecting the country. You know, keep out the immigrants, put up sanctions on China, keep out the Middle East people, don't allow them to come in, blah, 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 blah. It makes people feel more secure. You know, stop giving money to other countries, all these kinds of right-wing or conservative mindset things. And they're all valuable. The only problem is they're coming out of the mouth of somebody that's completely dishonest and completely tries to do things under the table, you know, to under everyone's nose. And he's not always very good at it because he's just not. And he's he's such a dishonest, lying person. And that's the problem. If we had had a president that was not dishonest and a liar, but basically still had that mentality, I'd probably have voted for him. Because you know me, I lean conservative a lot of the time. Not always, but a whole lot of the time. But I'm never going to support somebody that's so, you know, so much of a whatever. You guys know what I've called him. So I could be the president. I mean, he's shown us that it's not that difficult. Like Donald Trump had experience being the president. He's got a whole staff. The president has a whole staff of people to show him what they need to do. And if I were the president, these are the clothes. These are the kinds of clothes that I would wear. Look at this. If I were the president, this is what I'd wear every day. Would you see me wearing a coat and tie and slacks and all of that? No, it wouldn't happen. And you should know that if you come here and learn massage from me, like Raji tomorrow. Okay, so Raji is coming here to learn massage from me tomorrow. I'll probably be wearing jams. I might be wearing shorts. It's warmer now. I'll certainly be wearing a t-shirt. So this couple came here from Airbnb to learn massage from me. And after the class was over and he came to pick up a millet hole pillow, because he bought a millet hole pillow from me. And he came and picked it up, and I asked him how he liked the class. And he said he liked it and learned a lot, but he thought that I should have been wearing a uniform. He said that it was inappropriate for me to ask to take pictures for the ad. I wanted to take a couple of nice pictures for my ad on Airbnb, which is now taken down because he pissed me off so much. But I wanted to take a couple of nice pictures for my ad. And he said that he thought that that was creepy. Right, like I've never seen naked bodies before. And like I'm not horny. I am. So what? Everyone's horny if you're healthy. If you're healthy, you're horny. And anybody that says that they don't, even if you have a wife, even if you have a girlfriend, if you think that you don't look at other people, attractive people, and are lustful towards them, you're lying out your you know what. You're totally lying out your butt. So, I mean, that's why I'm not into monogamy, because it's all a big lie. It's all a bunch of crap, you know, being faithful. And it's just for people that are insecure and trying to control the other person. It's just a bunch of crap. So, and I don't mind telling you guys like how I really think and feel about these things, because people that respect me for that, if they respect me, they respect me. People that deny these things, well, they're just lying out their you know what, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. So I was thinking to myself, you know, life is good, even though we live in a world that's totally on the brink of disaster. If this didn't become apparent to you during the whole you know what in the last year and a half, that our world is constantly on the edge of disaster, then I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, look at how people are. It's absolutely insane how vulnerable people are in so many different ways. They were talking about, and believe me, I'm not watching the news very much. I just scroll through it to see if there's anything worth anything. But yesterday they were talking about the drought in the West right now. And everywhere in the desert areas in the West, it's all red, dark red, which means it's a severe, severe drought. You guys know what that means, right? In the West. You can definitely be looking forward to fires, big time. Anything that hasn't burned in the last several years is possibly going to be burning soon. And this is all just par for the course, you know, and it's all exactly the way it should be. It's all perfect. It's absolutely perfect because all of this gets people thinking. And the things that people are going to be forced to think about in the future is getting respect for the world they live in. Because as soon as you no longer have good air to breathe, as soon as you no longer have electricity because they shut it all down in Northern California so that it doesn't start a fire. I mean, there are so many things that our Earth can fight back with. It's got weapons like I've got a lot of tools in that bag down there. Our world, our Earth, has a lot more tools than you've ever seen before. And some of them, I'm sure that, like, just God knows how many things it can pull out of its bag and leash on humanity in order to get it back into alignment. And knowing this gives me a degree of a degree of peace, a lot of faith. I was losing faith. I've told you this before. I was losing faith before you know what came a year and a half ago. But when it hit, I was like, whoa, this is perfect. This is going to whoop people right into shape on about 10 levels. And if you didn't hear me say before, I was talking to my produce manager at the store, and he told me that since you know what came along, they're selling $1,000 a day more in produce. $1,000 a day in a small town store. And that is a lot of produce. And I think he does make a commission. They make a small commission, but $1,000 a day means he's making a lot more in his check every week or two. And so he's a happy pig, and you know what? Happy pig. So it's good for me. I know it's coming along, even though I'll tell you that people in the country, they don't want to admit it. They ain't going to admit it. But they're changing. Everyone has to change. Like talking about serious change. I don't think we've even seen, like, we've seen the beginning of it. We've seen the beginning. But how many of you will let a homeless family, like if millions are put out by a lot of different things, if millions no longer have a place to stay, and they're like not bums or, they're not like immigrants even, they're like Americans, real that had a good job and their house burned down, or the hurricane just wiped them away, and or inflation went nuts. What if inflation goes nuts and people just get broke, and they need a place to stay? And what if they don't have family? Are you a person that's willing to let them live with you if you've got a room or you've got a basement that's not being used or something like that? I think that we need to start thinking about things because I think it's going to be a reality. Yep, it's going to be a reality for a whole lot of people. Addition, bills and limitations, there would be orgies on the street wherever you look. Okay, so anyways, I didn't plan on this little video. It was just a for fun thing because I was lonely. But I want to thank you all for joining me. I hope that you are well. Oh, and be sure to go to brettsnaturalhealth.com, buy yourself a Mellow Hole pillow. Oh, I put my wooden spine rollers on sale today, $20 off. And you have to use the coupon code. Roll. Hang on. I'll tell you what the coupon code is. I'll tell you, while I'm there, I'll tell you what all the coupon codes are. Uh-oh. How come I got logged out? Crap, I can't do it. You can email me, brett@brettsnaturalhealth.com. If you want to get a coupon for a roller, a pillow, or a body pillow. Those are the three things I have coupons wise right now. Thanks for joining me. Be well. Hey, what happened?